I ended up picking logic, right? Because I took that Ableton course and I was like, who am I going to get married to? Am I going to get married to Ableton or am I going to get married to logic? And at the end of the day, I made my decision to be committed to logic because of just how easy it is. So let's talk about some things that we can actually do in the program. So the first thing that I want to emphasize is right here. You guys are currently looking at my logic screen. And so if you don't know about this little dialog window, it's really nice because you can decide the tempo in advance. There's a tap tempo feature right here, which is really nice. If you already know which key you're going to work under, you can configure that here, the time signature, your input and output device, again, your sample rate. So this is a really nice menu to kind of start up with. Sometimes like, most people work under 120 or 128. And so sometimes I'll just purposefully like just change it and then start writing because I don't always know what I'm going to write when I do write. But if I am aware of the tempo, I'll definitely, count and then I'll just tap that in. So it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So great tap tempo feature. I'm going to go ahead and choose this, open up a file every single time. First thing I said, keys in the ignition, go into the preferences, which is under logic, preferences, right there, key command, command comma. Set the input device. If you're not recording anything, via a microphone, this should be off at all times. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and apply changes, let that run, and then now we're ready to go. So we are working under Zoom. So let me change my output settings so that y'all can hear me. Good. All right, I'm gonna play something. If you could just give me a quick okay, I'm sure it's gonna work. I just want to make sure. So with fidelity, I appreciate it. Hold on, what does it say? Okay. All right, so I'll take it. So let me just do one thing on my end. Hold on. Logic. Yeah, okay. So let's talk about some things that we could do. And if something comes up, let me know in that chat box. But we can obviously import loops and things of that nature. So we'll hear this. So that's great. We can replicate really quickly by hitting Command R. So, you can kind of like machine gun like that. It's really nice workflow. If I drag in like another synthesizer, perhaps. So if we wanted to go ahead and start to like make some interesting edits, we can do that as well. Let me show you how. If I use my division in snap mode, which we're going to cover in full length right now, I can go ahead and select an area and then hit that same key command, Command R, Command R. I'm sorry, I have mine set up as Command D on my, it's custom. So then all of a sudden now I can start creating drum rolls. Yeah, if I wanted to cut this area right here and I wanted to reverse it inside of the region inspector, which is on the left-hand side right up here, okay, I can go ahead under the More tab. I can click on reverse. All of a sudden now we're reversing the application. Right, if you wanted to create a slow down effect, if you create a fade, if you control click under slow down, now you can kind of create this interesting slow down effect on the synthesizer. Right, something that I often like to do is automate the volume up on that. So I would do something like this, where that little section is going up. Again, we're going to go over a lot of this in full detail. We're going to do kind of one-on-one coaching as well. So if you feel lost or this is all new to you, just, bear with me. If I wanted to then add some hi-hats, for example, let's see, what do I got? No, okay. Let's Command D. Let's listen to this. All right, what if I wanted to slow down these hi-hats so they play it at halftime? Again, back to the region inspector on the left-hand side. If you go under speed, right? And if I say play this in halftime, now we can get this so it's a little slower. Now be careful, obviously, because if it's too slow, the audio quality is going to be degraded immensely. But here we are. We're talking about speed. Let's transpose something. If I click on that region right there, which is a melodic feature, you can also transpose drums, but it's not necessarily the same. You can probably get away with snares and hi-hats, but I'm just saying with kicks, it's probably not going to work the same. But if I click on this region right here, and I go to the transpose tab, again, in the region inspector, you're starting to see a theme here. This is a very important part of the program. I'm going to lift that up by 3 semitones. So yeah, lots going on, and I haven't even really opened the program. I just dragged in a couple loops and that's it. So hopefully you guys will start to see the immense power of what's possible here. Again, we haven't even scratched the surface. I guess last thing real quick is again in the region inspector, really important is that you can reduce the gain or you can increase the gain of any particular region or regions, right? Let's see, there was something else I wanted to say about that. Oh, right. If you want to change a numerical display inside of Logic, you can either basically double click and insert the number, with whether it's -5 or whatever it is, or you just click and drag up or down. Same thing right here where the BPM is. You can click up or down, and Logic will make its adjustments. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you want to find the customization we were talking about up here, this is called the control bar, right? If I control click that, all of a sudden we're able to see a lot more. I can add a lot more features. I actually like mine very bare and clean, but that doesn't mean that that works for you. So I just want to make sure you understand how to access it. My personal recommendation is right here in the LCD screen. You click, you go to custom, and then you start to add things that you like or don't like. Like for me, I don't really use um, the locator tab. Like so that's like where what you're looping. Like I don't find that to be of value to me, so I don't really ever use that. I like this replace feature I don't ever use. So anyway, spend some time with this, immensely useful. And then once you do save as a default, and then every time you open up a new session, you can always apply a default and bring those back.